Imagine you wake up tomorrow, grab your phone, open your bank app, and it's just gone. Zero. Nothing. No investments, no savings, no safety net. Maybe a little credit card debt. Just a job that barely covers rent and that weird knot in your stomach that won't go away. You'd probably spiral, right? Start doom-scrolling headlines. AI is eating jobs, markets are crashing, housing is cooked, inflation again. And the worst part? Everyone around you seems to be doing fine. Your coworker just bought a house. Your college friend is posting vacation pictures every other week. Your cousin won't stop talking about his portfolio. And you're sitting there thinking, did I miss something? Is there some secret that everybody got except me? There isn't, I promise. But here's the thing, and I genuinely mean this. If I was in that exact position tomorrow, I'd actually feel okay about it. Because the tools available to regular people right now are insane compared to even 10 years ago. You can open an investment account from your couch in 5 minutes. You can learn skills that pay 6 figures for free on YouTube. You can buy the entire stock market with one click. The problem isn't access. The problem is people try to do this stuff in the wrong order. They invest before they're ready. They save before they've dealt with debt. They chase income before they've built a foundation. And then when it doesn't work, they conclude the whole system is rigged against them. It's not rigged, it's just sequenced wrong. So I'm going to walk you through the exact 5 steps I'd follow. No hype, no shortcuts. Just the actual math behind going from zero to your first $100,000 and eventually $1 million. Fair warning though, the first step has nothing to do with investing. I'm Jack, and I show how ordinary people with ordinary incomes are building extraordinary wealth, simply by investing small amounts consistently over time. If you want to start your financial freedom journey, hit the like and subscribe button. Step 1. Deal with the thing that's actually bleeding you dry. Most people starting from zero want to talk about stocks. I get it. But if you have high interest debt right now, your net worth isn't zero. It's negative. And until you face that, nothing else really works. Here's why this matters so much. Credit card rates in 2025 hit over 22% on average. Meanwhile, the stock market historically returns about 10% a year. So if you're putting money into investments while carrying a credit card balance, you're losing 12% a year on that math. Every single year. Paying off that card is essentially a guaranteed 22% return. You won't find that anywhere else. So here's what I do. Write down every debt. Credit cards, personal loans, car, student loans. Sort them highest interest rate to lowest. Then go to war with the top one. Minimums on everything else, every available dollar goes to that first target. Sell stuff. Cut the subscriptions you forgot you had. Treat it like an emergency because financially, it kind of is one. I want to be real with you here though. This phase is psychologically brutal. Because you're doing all the right things and your bank account still looks terrible. You're sacrificing and it doesn't feel like it's working. That's normal. Debt payoff doesn't feel like progress until suddenly it does. The day you pay off that last high-interest balance, something shifts. It's one of the best financial feelings you'll ever experience. And that's not an exaggeration. And once that debt is gone, your money is finally yours to keep. Step 2. Build your Nothing Can Touch Me fund. Now here's where people get excited and immediately start investing, and it's actually a mistake. Because life doesn't care about your investment timeline. The car breaks down, a medical bill shows up, your landlord decides he wants a new kitchen, funded by your rent increase. And if all your money is in the market when that happens, you're forced to sell at the worst possible time. This is how people get burned. Not because investing is bad, because they invested before they had a cushion. One unexpected expense and suddenly they're liquidating positions at a loss just to keep the lights on. So before I invest a single dollar, I'm building an emergency fund. 3 to 6 months of basic living expenses. Boring? Yes. Essential? Absolutely. The good news is that money isn't just sitting there rotting anymore. High-yield savings accounts were paying around 4 to 5% in 2025. So your emergency fund is at least doing something while it waits. But more than the interest, and this is the part people underestimate, having that cushion changes how you operate. You negotiate your salary differently. You don't panic sell your investments. You stop making desperate decisions when things get tight. There's also something subtler happening. When you don't have an emergency fund, every financial decision gets made from a place of fear. You take the first job offer instead of negotiating. You don't leave a bad situation because you can't afford the gap. You say yes to things you should say no to, and no to things you should absolutely say yes to. The emergency fund isn't just about the money. It's about who you become when you have it. It's the foundation that makes everything else possible. Step 3. The investment strategy nobody talks about because it's boring. All right, here's where we actually get into investing. And I'm going to say something that might be anticlimactic. Don't try to pick stocks. I know, but hear me out. About 85 to 90% of professional fund managers, people with massive research teams, Bloomberg terminals, decades of experience, fail to beat the S&P 500 over 15 years. If they can't do it consistently, you and I probably can't either. So instead of trying to find the next big winner, I just buy everything. That's literally what index funds do. They track the whole market, and historically the US market has returned around 10% annually over the long run. That's not exciting, but compounded over 20 to 30 years, it's life-changing. Let me give you the actual numbers so this lands properly. If you invest $500 a month starting at 25 and you earn 10% annually by age 55, you'd have roughly $1.1 million. That's without ever picking a single stock, without ever timing the market, without any secret knowledge whatsoever. Just consistent investing in boring index funds, starting early enough. Now here's where most people mess this up. They start. Markets dip. They panic and sell. Then they wait for things to stabilize before buying back in, which usually means they buy back in higher than they sold. This cycle quietly destroys returns for millions of investors. The strategy doesn't fail them. They fail the strategy. So the real skill with investing isn't picking the right fund. It's staying in when everything feels terrible and every headline is screaming at you to get out. That's where the money is actually made. Here's how I'd split it. 90% goes into low-cost index funds. Automated, monthly, I'm barely checking it. 10% is the fun money. Individual stocks, AI plays, whatever I'm curious about. If it works, great. If it doesn't, my financial life isn't wrecked. This way you get discipline and you're not completely bored. Step 4, stop giving the government more than you have to. A lot of people start investing in a regular brokerage account, which is fine, but it's leaving money on the table. There are accounts specifically designed to let your money grow with way less tax drag. Here's the order I'd use them. First, grab the 401k employer match. If your company matches your contributions, that's an instant 100% return on that money. Not taking it is literally declining free salary. Next, max a Roth IRA. You contribute money you've already paid taxes on, and then it grows completely tax-free. The 2025 limit is $7,000 a year. That might not sound huge now, but in 30 years, the tax savings alone can be enormous. Here's a quick way to think about the Roth IRA. Let's say you put in $7,000 a year for 30 years, and it grows to $800,000. In a regular brokerage account, you'd owe capital gains tax on a huge chunk of that growth. Potentially $100,000 or more, depending on your situation. In the Roth, 0. That's not a rounding error. That's a life-changing difference in outcome for the exact same investment. Then, if you're eligible, an HSA. These things are quietly one of the best financial tools in America. Triple tax advantage. Deductible going in, grows tax-free, comes out tax-free for medical expenses. And healthcare and retirement is expensive. We're talking hundreds of thousands of dollars. Once those are full, then move into a regular brokerage. But always fill the tax-advantaged buckets first. Step 5. The part nobody in personal finance wants to tell you. Here's the honest truth that most money content glosses over. Cutting expenses only gets you so far. There's a floor. You can cancel every subscription, stop eating out, never touch a coffee shop again, and you'll still be playing a slow game. Real acceleration comes from making more money. And the gap between people who do that and people who don't usually comes down to skills. Workers who switch jobs often see 10 to 20% salary jumps. People who stay put, usually 3 to 5%. That one difference, compounded over a career, is genuinely the distance between comfortable and wealthy. And this is where I'd actually spend a lot of my energy in the early stages. Not obsessively checking my investment account, not micro-optimizing my budget, but asking one question every single day: what skill can I build right now that someone will pay significantly more for? Because the math is undeniable. Going from $50,000 to $70,000 a year in income doesn't just mean $20,000 more to invest annually. It means your emergency fund builds faster, your debt disappears faster, your Roth IRA gets maxed faster. Every step on this list accelerates simultaneously. Income is the multiplier on the entire plan. So if I'm starting from zero, I'm spending 1 hour a day, just one, learning something the market actually pays for. Data analysis, sales, AI tools, software, project management, communication. These aren't pipe dreams. They're learnable, often for free, and they move the needle faster than any investment strategy. The best investment you can make in the early stages of building wealth isn't in the stock market. It's in yourself. The full roadmap. If I had $0 tomorrow, this is it. Eliminate high-interest debt first. It's a guaranteed return. Build 3 to 6 months of emergency savings. Invest consistently into low-cost index funds. Use tax-advantaged accounts before anything else. Grow your income. That's the real multiplier. It's not glamorous, but it's the actual path. The people quietly becoming millionaires aren't day trading or picking hot stocks or getting lucky with crypto. They're just consistent over a long time with a real plan. And they don't abandon it the moment things get uncomfortable. Wealth isn't built in a moment. It's built in the 1,000 small decisions you make when nobody's watching, when the market drops and you keep investing anyway, when you get a raise and you don't inflate your lifestyle to match it, when you spend that hour learning instead of scrolling. Those moments don't feel significant, but they compound just like money does. So, if you woke up tomorrow with nothing, what's your first move? Drop it in the comments and don't forget to hit like and subscribe. I'm genuinely curious.